Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. Today it's a bit of a good news, bad news situation. Well, for me at least. The good news, I finally finished with a 500,000 subscriber video contest. Over 2 weeks, without a single day off, doing nothing but going through the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails that you guys submitted with your video entries for the subscriber contest. But we're finally done, and I can have a day off. The bad news, Jingles, it's Wednesday. No time off for you until the weekend. Back to work, we want our Wednesday video. The good news, I can just fob them off with a quick single battle replay. They'll never know the difference. The bad news, god damn it, I said that aloud, didn't I? The good news, it is a pretty awesome battle. This is 9-Axle 5 in the American Tier 7 heavy tank, the T-29. Now, we're just going to call him Axel because, you know, I'm lazy. What? At least I'm honest. Axel has played over 13,000 games in World of Tanks, but only 108 of them in heavy tanks, and this is the 108th heavy tank game. He doesn't really like playing heavy tanks, he thinks they're a bit boring, or at least he did until he played this game. So, the Pilsen map, modelled after the town of Pilsen in the Czech Republic, in what used to be the Kingdom of Bohemia, famous for two things: first and foremost, Pilsner beer, and secondly, during World War II, as you can see there by the holes of the Hetzers lying there waiting to be fitted onto obsolete Czech tanks, the Skoda works. Skoda tank factory founded by Emil Skoda in the 19th century, I believe. And that's obviously what this map is modelled on. Now, Axel is off to a flying start in this match because he's in a T-29 and it's a Tier 7 game, and the T-29 is absolutely outstanding. Now, T-29 drivers do like to get their tanks into hold-down positions because, well, if you can do that in a T-29, particularly when you've got the upgraded turret and that 105mm gun, although the 90mm gun isn't too bad either, you are pretty much bulletproof, unless there's artillery in the game. The problem is that too many T-29 drivers, once they find that golden hold-down spot, regardless of where it is on the map, they break out the camping tools and they refuse to move from that position, regardless of what else is happening on the battlefield. And then when their team all die, they start bitching and whining and chat about they have to carry a team of loser scrub lords when they haven't actually seen anything to shoot at yet because they're camping at the back of the map and their team have nailed 12 of the enemy tanks for them. Axel isn't going to be doing much of that in this game, even though he could have started now because his team were already down 3 tanks to nil, 4 tanks to nil, and if enemy artillery have anything to do with it, they're going to be down a T-29 very, very soon too. There's the first hit. Now that knocked his gun out, which was a bit of a pain in the arse, so he's already had to use his repair kit, and now he's got his tracks back up. Okay. Hit by Arnie, time to move, especially since that Lorraine 155 is already on 2 kills, and that T1 Heavy is not safe in that position. There's the 3rd kill for the Lorraine 155. Fantastic. The team are now down 5 kills to 1. The good news is that the Cromwell and Type T-34 up ahead have pushed up and they've managed to expose the enemy artillery to some counter battery fire. So Axel moves up to get some flanking shots in on these enemy tanks rushing back to defend the cap against the 2 mediums who are threatening their flag. He gets a shot into the side of the KV-1, and while the Oni is not an especially fast tank, it's fast enough to beat the reload of Axel's 105mm gun by just a fraction of a second. There were other enemy tanks up there. There we go, a BDR and an OI experimental. Snaps a shot into the side of the OI, pulls back, OI hits him, his tracks eat it, BDR gets taken out, OI's reversing, gets hit by artillery, kills his radio operator and knocks his tracks off again, but he does manage to finish the OI experimental off. The pumping 105mm armour piercing into the sides of those things is so satisfying. Okay, the scores aren't quite so bad now, but that Cromwell and Type T-34 are being heavily pressured by the enemy tanks that managed to make it across this patch of open ground in the central factory complex and get back in time to defend their flag. But we're about to make it one less. Bingo, got him. Now this little bugger, the Dicker Max, well, he's doomed. Doesn't matter which way he goes, there's going to be a tank shooting at him. But notice that they're being capped at the moment by a VK3001P. Now there's not a massive difference in the scores at the moment, and capping at this point would not be a terrible idea for that VK. For Axel and this T-43 to go back and defend the cap, they'd have to fight their way through anything up to 4 enemy tanks. And I suspect there's a certain element of no cap kill all going on here because the VK suddenly stops capping, and that's going to be amusing when we see him later. But for now, we're just going to humiliate this M6. Now the M6 does not have the 90mm gun. You can tell because he doesn't have a muzzle brake at the end of his barrel, and when you're face-hugging a T29 like this and you only have the 76mm gun, well, it will all be over soon. So there's an OI over there, but whoa, hold on, check the map. T-34-85 threatening your ally in the T-43, so here's the most immediate threat. T-43 puts a shot into him. Axel gets around the side. Boom! Ammo rack. Now, have a look at the map. You can see that they've just lost their Panzer IV-H, and there's definitely a severe case of no cap kill all going on here on the enemy team. Both their Cromwell and their VK are rushing to deal with the FV-304. And poor old Bert the Avenger is suffering from a nasty case of the Admiral Akbars because he cannot repel firepower of that magnitude and he's dead. And there's the OI. Now that is not a good angle. Regardless of the fact that the penetration indicator was showing green, it doesn't take into account the angle of the armour, just the thickness. Oh, let's not get shot by his big gun. Oh, he started moving. Okay, take the shot. Side. Lovely. It's going to take one more though. What's the T-43 doing? T-43's trying to take a shot there as well. Oh, he's missed. Finishes him off. Ah, we've lost the T-43. We are now the last tank left alive on our team. However, there were 5 enemy tanks still up at the point where the T-43 died. Now here's the VK. Remember, this guy could have won the game by now if he just stayed in the cap circle. Axel scores a hit, but there's all kinds of tank wrecks there that the VK could use to hide his weak hull armour. And he's missed, and he's driven into a wall, and he's dead. Now, I'm not calling this guy a noob, I'm just saying no cap kill all isn't always the best strategy. Anyway, we have to deal with the Cromwell, and the Cromwell's a dangerous tank, but where are his two little friends? There's an M41 and a Lorraine 155, and that Lorraine 155 is on 5 kills now, so you have to assume that he's not a noob. And you also have to assume that he's not going to just sit there camping in the same spot on the map waiting for you to kill the Cromwell and then blunder into his line of fire. He's going to be relocating, and surprise, so is the M41. Now we can one-shot the M41, and we do. And the Cromwell comes around a little too slowly to get a shot into the rear, and now we've got a nice big thick factory wall between us and him. Unfortunately, he knows exactly where we are, and that means the Lorraine, there it is, knows exactly where we are as well. And that's not enough to kill him. Oh, that was a spot of luck. Track's gone, radio operator still dead. We're going to have to take a few shots from the Cromwell because we've burned our repair kit. Choices, choices, choices. What are you going to do? Are you going to go after the Cromwell and get that wall between you and the Lorraine? Or are you going to kill the artillery and then take your chances with the Cromwell? I think he's going to kill the artillery. No chance of a top gun for that guy. Cromwell sees he's just fired, comes out, bounces his shot, and then backs off. The Cromwell's advantages over the T29 are speed, manoeuvrability, and superior rate of fire. And he's not using any of that. Instead, he's trading damage with a tank that's armed with a 105mm gun. And he eventually realises his mistake, but not before he loses a lot of health, and now he goes for it. And this is what he should have done the first time. And this is what Cromwells do best, and Axel could be in a lot of trouble here. Look at how easily the Cromwell is able to get around him. But the Cromwell can only get around him if Axel gives him space behind him to do so. You didn't see that one coming, did you, Sonny Jim? Come on, Axel. Come on. Oh, he's missed. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm not saying the Cromwell was a noob. I'm just saying I think there was a certain amount of panic influencing his decision-making process there. So, Axel, do you still think heavy tanks are boring? Spoiler alert. Axel no longer thinks heavy tanks are boring. And, well, not surprising really after that match. All manner of shiny medals and awards, an ace tanker, a Radley Walters, a Colin Banoffs, a Spartan, a steel wall, a high caliber and a Top Gun, and he earned that high caliber by doing nearly 5,000 damage to back up his 9 kills. He fired 21 shots during the course of that game, all 21 hit, and 95% of those shots that hit penetrated and did damage. Damn, son, that's some fancy shooting. But what an ending. The Cromwell had him. He was in his comfort zone driving circles around this big stupid heavy tank, and then Axel denied him by backing up into a wall, and the Cromwell panicked. He had Axel at his mercy on 36 health, and the Cromwell then donked his next 2 shots as he just didn't know what to do, and so Axel was able to clutch the win. Very entertaining game, Axel. Thanks very much for sending it in, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And now with that, I'm off to my scratcher, because this gnome is exhausted and badly needs an early night. Hope you enjoyed today's video, folks. Axel, thanks once again for sending that in, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.